Arsenal. They're not very good. The decline over the last decade has been well documented, and Manchester United aren't exactly what they used to be either, having not threatened the Premier League summit since 2013. As both sides struggle for relevance, let's go back to the early noughties, when both teams were title rivals and shared a genuine hatred for one another. Arsenal upset the apple cart in 1998, hauling back a 10-point gap to win the league and stop United winning their first ever 3 in a row. 4 years later, Sylvain Wiltord's goal saw Arsenal win the league at Old Trafford and squash any hopes United have of winning 4 league titles in a row. United then somewhat unexpectedly beat Arsenal to the league in 2003, before things really started to come to a head. In September 2003, Arsenal went to Old Trafford undefeated after 5 games and sat in second place. Defending champions United were third after an early upset at home to Southampton, but make no mistake, these were still the top 2 in the country. The match, subsequently renamed the Battle of Old Trafford, is infamous for its conclusion. With seconds remaining, United were awarded a fairly soft penalty where Martin Keown bundled over Diego Forlan. Ruud Van Nistelrooy, one of the most ruthless strikers in Premier League history, stepped up and famously crashed that penalty against the bar, and what followed was one of the most iconic and probably unsavoury moments the Premier League has ever witnessed. Arsenal players, Martin Keown chiefly, rushed Van Nistelrooy full time and exuberantly celebrated in front of him, pushing him in the back as they danced around him like little schoolboys. Although Van Nistelrooy didn't react, other United players did. Ryan Giggs got involved with Loren, Cristiano Ronaldo got involved with Ashley Cole, and several others joined the general fracas. In typical Arsene Wenger style, the Frenchman laid the blame at Van Nistelrooy's feet, saying that he didn't help himself with his diving, and blamed him for Patrick Vieira sending off earlier in the game. As a result of the incident, Arsenal were charged for failing to control their players, and Keown, Vieira, Loren, Ray Parlour and Ashley Cole all received hefty fines, with Cole being the only one to escape a suspension. Giggs and Ronaldo were both fined as well, but avoided any bans. That penalty miss meant that United missed out on taking top spot at the end of the weekend, but of course, in the long term it was a lot worse, as Arsenal will go on the longest unbeaten run in English football history to really rub salt in United's wounds. The run, numbering 49 games, was ended by United at Old Trafford, helped in no small part by a Ruud Van Nistelrooy penalty. In October 2004, Van Nistelrooy exercised a lot of demons when he converted a penalty won controversially by Wayne Rooney, before Rooney himself sealed the win and added on time. However, for the second year running, it was what followed after the game that grabbed all the headlines. This time dubbed the Battle of the Buffet by the press, the aftermath was infamous for Cesc Fabregas throwing a slice of pizza at Alex Ferguson and hitting him in the face. You might say he wanted a piece of the action. I'm sorry. The season's reverse fixture at Highbury reached a fever pitch before the game even started, with long-term foes Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira getting into a spat in the tunnel. Vieira seemingly attempted to intimidate Gary Neville, and the United captain took it upon himself to defend his right back. Keane repeatedly saying, "I'll see you on the pitch," was indicative of the pair's relationship, and it seemed the pair might come to blows right there and then in the tunnel. They didn't, and what transpired was a really entertaining game. United won 4-2, twice coming from behind, with a Ronaldo brace putting them in front. But it was John O'Shea's exquisite chip with time running out, and the look of absolute shock at what he'd done, that was the crowning moment in what was otherwise a drab season for United, and it was probably a crowning moment in many people's lives. Arsenal did beat United on penalties in the FA Cup final that year, but O'Shea's chip kind of means United had the last laugh. 13 years have passed since that game at Highbury, and it's quite sad to see United and Arsenal reduced to such a limp affair that Sky don't even see as one of their big money spinners anymore. Still, the two clubs have thrown up some of the most iconic moments in Premier League history, and the league could do with some of that fire being reignited.